Hello, students. I am Ms. Santos, your MAPE teacher for today. Welcome to our virtual classroom. Before we proceed to our topic discussion, let me just remind you a few netiquettes that I want to impose in my virtual class that you, my students, should know. Rule number 1, privacy. Be sure that we are not violating someone's right to privacy. Rule number 2, it is cute to mute. Make it a habit to mute your audio. Turn it on only when you are going to speak. Rule number 3, be prepared. Find a comfortable place and keep your things nearby. Rule number 4, be respectful. Wear appropriate attire. Use chat bags for relevant comments only. Use appropriate language. Lastly, rule number 5, be attentive. Pay attention to your teacher or while your classmate is speaking. This is still a classroom. Have fun learning in a new normal way. I am looking forward to an awesome discussion with you all. Okay, before we begin, let's start with the learning competency. Identify the different issues and concerns of teenagers, identity crisis, and the need for the support and understanding of the family. And these are the breakdown of our learning objectives. First is to discuss signs and symptoms and effects of STI, HIV, and AIDS. Next is to identify and analyze steps in the prevention and control of STIs. Lastly, realize why abstinence is the only way to avoid sexually transmitted infections, particularly HIV or AIDS. Last meeting, we discussed about human sexuality and how we know about the difference between sex and gender, how we're able to define them. It's also important to know your total being, and as we grow older, we explore ourselves. And then when we explore ourselves, we decide or we do decision making, and every decisions that we made, there is a consequences, and that leads to issues and problems related to human sexuality. So first off, what is HIV? Students, have you heard about HIV? What is HIV stands for? You may comment your answers in the chat box and it will be acknowledged. Anyone? HIV stands for any guesses? Okay, we have an answer from Charlize. HIV is human immunodeficiency virus, human immune deficiency, and then another one, human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, so we have correct answer. Okay, HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, let me break down each word. Human, because the virus is only be transmitted human to human. Immunodeficiency, immune is the one that defends our body against pathogens. Deficiency meaning do not work properly. So meaning to say, human immunodeficiency is a virus that affects or destroys our immune system. Question is, why is immune system important in our body? Okay, can anyone please read? Ashley, can you please read immune system, please?
Immune system, collection of cells and substances that defend the body against foreign substances known as antigens.
Okay, so immune system is responsible for defending our body against foreign substances. Example of antigens are bacteria, virus, germs, and all. That's why in the pandemic, it's very important to have a very strong immune system kasi mas madali tayong mahawa ng sakit if we have a weak immune system. So that's why I chose this characters as a representation to immune system because they are tiny superheroes of our body. Without them, no one will survive. Okay, next. We have what we call CD4 cells or cluster of differentiation 4. Can you please read, Gabrielle?
CD4 cells, type of white blood cells which perform the role of an army in the body and fights antigen.
Okay, if the immune system is the whole system, CD4 cells act as an army or army of our body. Without them, walang nagtatanggol sa katawan natin. And I prepare here a short animation film that would represent the story of HIV versus CD4 cells. Okay, here. May I ask some of the students who will do the voiceover of the following characters? Okay. This is an animation scene that I personally made. Okay, we have characters here. We have CD4, and then we have the lady in red, which represents the human body. Can you be the human body, Jocelyn? And then CD4 cells would be David. Okay, so what you will do is that you will only have to read the pop-up bubbles of the characters. Okay, so let's start with CD4 cells. Go.
I am CD4. I will defend you.
Okay, the body, Jocelyn.
Yay!
Okay, next. Okay, the small antigens will be Charlize. Can you be the antigens?
Attack! I will make the body sick.
Okay, CD4 cells. CD4. David. Okay, ako na lang. Don't worry, buddy. I will defend you. Jocelyn?
Go CD4 go CD4 cells.
Okay. Okay, the monster would be the HIV. So, ikaw na lang din ulit, Koska.
Attack!
CD4 cells, I hope you're there.
Why can't I defend myself?
Okay, so buddy?
This isn't happening.
Okay. Goodbye, buddy. Yun yung sabi ni CD4 cells. Buddy?
I can protect myself without CD4 cells.
Okay, so that's the end of our short animation film. Okay, as you have seen sa animation, without CD4 cells, nobody would protect the body against antigen. Okay, so ang ginagawa ni HIV is that when HIV enters inside the body, ginagaya niya or he copies the image of CD4 cells. That's why it's easier for them to replicate. Kasi hindi alam ni CD4 cells na HIV pala yun. Kasi nag-iitsura silang CD4 cells, nag-impostor sila. What will happen if HIV infection gets inside our body? Of course, you will have the lifetime infection. Once you have an HIV or HIV, it is a lifetime infection na hindi wala pa siyang, there's no vaccine to prevent it. Still no cure, but treatment is available. No specific signs and symptoms. So ayokong sabihin na no cure at all, but gusto kong sabihin na no cure yet kasi wala pang nadidiscover, wala pang nakikitang inventions para ma-treat or talagang totally mawala yung HIV. Kasi nga, once you have HIV, it is a lifetime infection. Okay, remember, please read Jamila. Jamila, are you there? Okay, let's call another one. Madeline. Ay,
Cells
okay,
has
sige,
more
Madeline.
specific. So, a person has HIV is to get an HIV test.
Okay, so there is no specific symptoms for HIV, pero ang symptoms na mararamdaman nyo are symptoms from different infections na kapasok na sa katawan natin. The only way to know that you are HIV positive is to get an HIV test. Okay, next one, please read Elena. Elena.
Remember, a person with HIV may look physically healthy and well even if the virus is already inside his or her
Okay.
body.
Okay, so we don't know if our partner or tayo is HIV positive kasi we look physically healthy even if we have HIV inside our body. Okay, worst is HIV may lead to AIDS. Okay, kapag lumala na yung HIV, going back dun sa HIV, napapatay niya ang CD4 cells. Once na ang CD4 cells ay not enough to defend the body, it will become AIDS. What is AIDS? Can you guess what AIDS stands for? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Let's try. Okay, correct. AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Okay, let's break down yung kada words ng AIDS. Acquired is because it's transmitted from human to human. Immunodeficiency, again, it is lacking or the immune system does not work properly. And syndrome, why it is syndrome? Because it is a group of infections na. So that's why it's very hard to treat people with AIDS kasi nagsama-sama na lahat ng mga infections. Okay, AIDS is a condition. Can you please read? Pauline.
AIDS is a condition of a person infected with HIV when the immune system is already weak or destroyed, and the body can no longer fight off common opportunistic infection.
Okay, so ganon ang mangyayari if hindi mo na-treat yung HIV from the beginning, hindi mo siya na-treat, it will become AIDS na mas mahihirapan ng gamutin. Worse, okay, ang worst na to, AIDS can lead to unnecessary death if not treated. Okay, so I would just like to clarify, a person with HIV does not necessarily have AIDS. Okay, so again, to make it easier for you to understand, HIV, ang AIDS ay lumalang HIV. For example, a person who has AIDS, kapag ka nakahawa siya, it will begin with HIV. And then kapag yung tao na yon lumala, magiging AIDS na rin yon. So kaya sinasabi dito, not not all people living with HIV ay may AIDS din sila. No. So mag-HIV lang sila, pag na-treat, nag-stop doon, and we have enough CD4 counts or CD4 cells, enough na yon para mag-fight sa mga antigens. Okay, the question is, if nakinig kayo kanina, is there a treatment for HIV? Yes or no? Okay, some of you said yes, some of you said no. Is a treatment for HIV? Okay. The answer is yes. There is a treatment for HIV pero walang vaccine, walang cure. The purpose of having the treatment ay para hindi na lumala ang HIV or mapaprolong yung buhay ng taong may HIV or hindi na siya mag-proceed sa AIDS, which is mas mataas or mas mahihirapan ng gamutin na case. Okay, the treatment is called antiretroviral. Okay. Paano nagagamit yung antiretroviral? So first off, we have what we call antiretroviral therapy or ART. So this therapy, once na you get tested, di ba, we don't have any signs or symptoms. You would only know that you are HIV positive person if nakapag-HIV test ka. So if that happens, nag-positive ka sa HIV test mo, that's when the time the doctor would recommend you to take ART or into a therapy, undergo a therapy so that you would take medicines called antiretroviral or ARV. So again, ART is a therapy, ARV is the drug or medicine. How does this antiretroviral or ARV works into our body once na in-intake na to ng taong living with HIV? Okay. ARV, can you please read? Katrina.
These medicines are needed to slow down the replication of the virus, preventing the CD4 cells to be destroyed. Having enough CD4 cells slows the immune system to fight infections.
Okay, going back sa sinabi ko kanina so that you would understand more, ang ginagawa ni HIV once the HIV gets into our body, nag-replicate siya. Ginagaya niya si CD4, the image of CD4, kinakopy niya, and then nag-replicate sila. Now, ano ang ginagawa ni ARV? Once the ARV na intake na siya ng taong person living with HIV, mapapaslow down niya yung replication ng HIV. And then, sinasabi dito, having enough CD4 cells is just enough para maging helpful siya sa ating immune system to fight infections. Okay, so without ARV, a person with HIV may die of infections within 5 to 10 years. Again, I would like to clarify. A person may experience infections of those illness na na-acquire niya na. For example, I have HIV. For example lang, I have HIV. I have acquired pneumonia. All the complications, all the infections are due to pneumonia. Yun yung magiging kunwari lang, magiging cause of death ng person with HIV, pneumonia. So the reason why in our situation nowadays during pandemic, people living with HIV are considered vulnerable sa pandemic because they have a weak immune system, no? Lalo na yung mga taong may AIDS. No longer their immune system can no longer fight COVID-19 kaya nagiging vulnerable sila. Taking ARV will prolong the life of a person with HIV. So mapaprolong niya yung buhay kasi usually person living with HIV may live 5 to 10 years lang. Okay, yun lang yung nagiging range ng buhay nila. Of course, kasi wala na nagproprotect sa body nila. Without immune system, hindi tayo makaka-survive. Okay. Sabi ni patient, how is HIV transmitted? Have you ever asked yourself, how is HIV transmitted? Is it from a simple handshake like COVID-19? Or is it sharing utensils with other people? Nakakahawa din ba yun ng HIV? So this answers your questions. Okay, there are a lot of misconceptions with regards HIV or transmission of HIV, but we only have to remember 4 body fluids. We have blood, semen, vaginal fluid, and breast milk. Blood, paano tayo makakahawa ang blood? Transfusion, using a used syringe, lalo na ang gumamit ng syringe ay HIV positive person and then ginamit mo, then definitely matatransmit sa yung HIV. Semen and vaginal fluid of course from a sexual intercourse, either anal or vaginal, oral, pwede. Breast milk, possible sa mother to child. Okay, mother to child yung transmission niya. Either pwede rin si mother during delivery kasi may blood. Okay? So tatandaan lang natin to. So misconceptions, yung nagsasabi na HIV, nakakahawa ang HIV sa sweats, dahil sa sweats. Okay. Ano pa? Tears, saliva, and so on. Ito lang, 4 body fluids lang ang kailangan nating tandaan. Okay, principles of HIV infection. So this is the representation of how HIV being transmitted to you, or paano yung step-by-step process niya. Una, kailangan yung 4 body fluids must exit to the person who is positive with HIV. And then, the virus must survive and sufficient. And then kapag nakasurvive siya and sufficient at naka-enter sa person without HIV, then definitely magkakaroon na rin siya ng HIV. Okay, so yung may mga ways of transmission kung paano matatransmit kay walang HIV, maraming ways, katulad nga nun yung sharing of syringe, needles, sexual intercourse, breast milk from mother. Okay, we have what we call ABCDE of prevention. So we have to put this in mind so that naging safe tayo sa HIV. Okay, first off, abstinence. Okay, when we say abstinence, you refrain yourself from having sex or no sex at all. This is said to be the most effective. Of course, most effective to. Bukod sa makakaiwas ka pa sa unwanted pregnancy, makakaiwas ka rin sa unwanted HIV. So, young people, kailangan you have to tell yourself abstinent. You can say no to people who are actually asking you to do it. Okay. Letter B stands for be mutually faithful to your partner. If you are a grown man or a grown woman, you have to be faithful to your partner para hindi ka nakahawa, hindi ka rin makahawa. Okay? So, letter C, consistent and correct use of condom. It is said to be reliable method, itong use of condom, pero not all sexually transmitted infection can cover condom. So, pwede HIV because it could stop yung vaginal fluid or yung semen, may stop niyang mag-transmit dun sa person without HIV. But marami pa tayo, aside from HIV, we have a lot of sexually transmitted infection. Meron tayong gonorrhea, and so on, which we will be tackle on a later topic. Okay, letter D, do not use drugs or drink alcohol. So when you are under the influence of these substances, you don't know what you are doing, okay? So wag natin gawin to so that you would not regret later on. And lastly, letter E, early detection. Okay. So you if you think kasi we have what we call assessment, self-assessment if we are positive. Nako, positive ba ako sa HIV? Nako, why am I not parang gumagaling from these infections? Lagi akong may ubo. On or off yung aking fever, may self-assessment tayong tinatawag. When you think that, and then meron ka ding practices na could transmit HIV to you, then might as well mag-HIV test ka. And of course, don't forget sa early detection, meron tayong tinatawag na education. That's why we are talking about this HIV and AIDS, or introduction to HIV and AIDS, so that you would know, you are aware what is happening, para hindi naman sabing matakot, pero para maiwasan natin yung pagkalat. Kasi usually, kaya pinag-uusapan natin ito while you are young, so that you would know the decisions that you will do, that there are consequences. Okay? Okay, so that ends the presentation for today. I hope you don't have any more questions. Is it clear to you? Is it clear? Okay, so we still have 5 minutes to go. I prepared an activity. Can you go to menti.com? Menti.com. We still have 5 more minutes. Okay. Nasa menti.com na ba kayo? Have you
Yes
seen
po.
it? Okay,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
enter the code. Please enter the code 686152. 686152. So I've seen one student na. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's wait for a few more. 7. Okay. Answers fast get more points, kaya bilisan natin, okay? Look at your phone. Medyo mabilis yata. Coughing or sneezing, ways of transmitting HIV. Okay, the answer is false. Hindi ka mahahawaan ng HIV in a form of coughing or sneezing. Could be a COVID-19, but not HIV. Okay, next. Okay, at least mas marami yung correct answer than the ano. Okay, ito na. Next. Last na to. Be positive mother. True or false? Okay, so I guess all of you are correct. Okay, the answer is true. Kasi why? Kasama ang breast milk sa 4 body fluids. Okay, I guess that's all na muna for today. I will be linking this activity to our Google Classroom so that you could refer to it even after class hours. Do you have any more questions? Okay. None? Is it clear? Please comment clear. Okay, so thank you for coming in my class. Thank you for your participation. Goodbye, class. Until I see you again, please do check your Google Classroom for additional articles, references, and then I'll be sharing this PowerPoint presentation there, additional information about HIV so that you could have the more reference to understand HIV and AIDS. Okay, so bye. Thank you, thank you. You may leave the chat room.
A healthy and safe day, my dear students. I am Mr. Kimfi M. De Leon, your PE teacher for today. I am currently connected at Novaliches High School as MAPI teacher, District 5, Schools Division's Office of Quezon City. And before we proceed to our lesson for today, allow me to share some quick reminders to make our virtual class smooth flowing. Number 1, I encourage everyone to please settle to a convenient and comfortable place before we start our lesson. May I also remind everyone to dedicate your full attention on the screen as we will be discussing a very important topic for today. Beside you, you may place your learning materials including your notebook and ball pens so that you could write down some important details and keywords about our lesson. I also encourage you to respond virtually as if Sir Kimfi is with you physically, guiding you throughout the lesson proper. Lastly, do not forget to relax, engage, and find enjoyment in today's discussion. Let's start today's learning activity by casting our individual prayer. May I request everyone to pause temporarily and have a moment of silence. And now, with the Lord's divine guidance, I know all of us will learn the lesson well today. Once again, I am Sir Kim, your PE teacher for today, and I hope that everyone is safe and healthy as of the moment. Even though there's no face-to-face contact between I, your teacher, and you, my students, I know all of us will agree that learning never stops. I know many of us are wondering how to conduct and hold a virtual PE class. I know some of you will find it awkward to participate and engage in our physical activity in front of your television screen and desktop monitors. But worry no more, because I will help you to learn the most essential topics in PE to pass your MAPE subject. Just be with me from this moment until the end of this video. Allow me to ask you this very timely and relevant question in this pandemic period and quarantine lockdown setup. Are you living a healthy life? This question may challenge us, knowing this pandemic directly affects our daily routine, isn't it? From the daily tasks that we do concerning our household chores, schools activities and engagement, the food and eating habit that we used to do, and also our regular social commitments. It has indeed affects the way we live our lives today. Do you agree? Truly no one is exempted and everyone is affected. And for today's lesson, let us try to assess how do you understand physical activity, exercise, and eating habits that affect your lifestyle and weight management. Let me ask you first the following questions. I encourage you to write your answer honestly in a clean sheet of paper. Okay? Let's start. Which type of food do you usually eat? I want you to be honest with your answer, okay? And you may write as many as you want. Do you eat just anything that you want? Again, and similarly, I want you to be honest. I want you to be true to yourself with your response. Number 3, what is your personal understanding of the word health and fitness? You may write a short definition of your answer or words that can be associated with the words health and fitness. Lastly, do you practice a healthy lifestyle? This question only requires a yes or a no answer. But I want you to honestly reflect on your response by explaining it to yourself that do you really do or not. I will give you a few minutes to respond on these questions. And we will go back to your responses later on. For now, let us define the following words. Number one, health. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Us tend to misunderstand the meaning of the word health. I know some of you wrote there that being healthy would mean absence of disease and infirmity. But based on the definition, it's more than that. It has to meet the complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being of a person. In the definition, we also encounter the word infirmity, which means physical or mental weakness. The second definition of the word health is this: that health is a dynamic condition resulting from body's constant adjustment and adaptation in response to stresses and changes in the environment for maintaining our inner equilibrium called homeostasis. Our body needs to be dynamic. It has to learn how to adapt to certain changes that can happen in our surrounding. And we have to respond to different stresses with ease. I know some of us tend to get stressed when we encounter an abrupt changes in our current situations. Sometimes we experience headache, dizziness, muscle cramps, or worse, we fainted. It only goes to show that our body is not holistically and completely managing to cope up with the current situation. But can that be improved? The answer is, of course, yes, that can be improved. Next is the word fitness. Some of you may sometimes associate the word fitness to the word powerful, resilient, strong, or even sexy. And these are actually partly true. But denotatively, we define the word fitness, the state or condition of being physically fit and healthy, meaning being fit or fitness is derived or byproduct of having a good exercise habits and proper nutrition. Let us not get confused with these two, okay? Now, students, I have a quick questions for you. Can we easily judge a person whether he is healthy or not by his physical appearance? What do you think? Of course not. How about this question? Is being skinny and fat would mean unhealthy? The correct answer is, of course not. Talking about health, let's keep in our mind that seeing is deceiving. They may look skinny, fat, or even chubby, but it doesn't mean that they are not healthy. So we have to refrain from branding or labeling other people according only to their physical looks. Scientifically, we have many ways to determine whether the person is healthy or unhealthy. So we don't judge right away, okay? Next, we talk about healthy lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle is a way of living that lowers the risk of being seriously ill or dying early. It is based on the choices you make about your daily habits. Good nutrition, daily exercise, and adequate sleep are the foundations for continuing good health. Also, for longer and more comfortable life, we just have to put together all our plan for a healthy lifestyle and live up to it. Our lifestyle differs from one another. Mine might be different from you, and yours might be different from mine. Now, let's try to talk about how to achieve a healthy lifestyle. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. And here are the following. Number one, healthy eating would always mean eating the right food. We should eat a healthy food with a balanced diet. The second way is to perform daily exercise. For example, we can perform yoga or Zumba exercise. Lastly, we have to ensure that we sleep adequately. Lack of sleep would lead to serious health problems. Now let me ask you, my dear students, do we eat balanced diet? Like we lean more on vegetables, fruits, quality meat, instead of you eating junk foods, sugary food, milk tea, french fries, burger, or any other deep fried foods? Answer yes, that's very good. It means that you are engaging and eating a healthy balanced diet. Now let me ask you, do you perform regular exercise? Do you really do? Or do we prefer doing nothing, like you lying on the bed, watching Netflix, and maybe you did master already sleeping late at night and waking late in the morning? And I hope not, because our body needs to rest and it needs to recover. And we can only do that by having a good quality, healthy sleep for 8 hours. We have to remember that sleeping is never an option. Sleeping is a must. It helps us to regain and repair our body from the lost energy that we have exerted during the day. So I hope that you adequately sleep every day. I am wondering what will be your response when I ask you, is healthy lifestyle important? This question may be easily answered either by yes or a no. And most of you will certainly respond yes, without even thinking. It can easily be said than done, right? Did we know that healthy habits such as eating low-fat diet and living an active lifestyle help a person to maintain a healthy weight and reduce excess weight? Also, simple habits like walking, taking the stairs, eating fruits and vegetables are effective in weight management. Did you know that? In addition, active lifestyle activates our neuron or brain cells that makes us more relaxed and happy. So the more we engage the different physical activity, our mind functions well. And lastly, healthy lifestyle leads to a better physique, which boosts your self-confidence and self-esteem. Also, social connections, such as joining different clubs, also improves somebody's mood. Hope, my dear student, that the definition of the word health, fitness, and health lifestyle are already clear to you. I'm also leaving you a certain challenge that is starting today. I want you to maintain your health in a good condition by achieving a good health lifestyle. Eat right, perform exercise, and have a good sleep. Before we end our today's discussion, allow me to leave you a very good quotation written by Mahatma Gandhi. He did mention that it is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. My dear student, always be reminded that health is truly a wealth. I want you to answer the activity posted on your screen. I'm going to be giving you certain time to respond on this and do it in your notebook. Let me read first the directions of the activity. I want you to reflect on the different physical activities you have participated during the past years of your life. Put check mark on the appropriate column. On our first column, you can see the following activities. Are you into, for example, walking and jogging? You just have to check yes if you do so and no if you don't. Good luck, and I want you to be honest with your responses. There you go, my dear student. I hope you learned something today. And part of our assignment, I want you to continuously engage with different physical activity, even at home. I want you to stay at home and be safe, okay? God bless you and see you to our next virtual learning session. Bye!